With a finger on the pulse of our community, I'm Renee Mera with a Community News Roundup. Lend a Hand is a nonprofit charitable organization that was started over 10 years ago with the aim to help underprivileged children, to give them vocational training and make their dreams come true. Lend a Hand recently held an art festival in Manhattan and had painters and artists as well as jewelry designers, all with one aim: to help give them a hand. Let's take a look. I'm here in Midtown Manhattan, and this is an annual art festival organized by nonprofit organization Lend a Hand, which was started in 2003 by Raj Gilda, and it's helping underprivileged children in India and empowering them and lending them a hand. And here I'm talking to representatives from Lend a Hand. This is your first ever art festival that you're starting in Manhattan. First of all, congratulations. We see the art exhibits by almost like 12 artists right now. So Dr. Kavita, tell us, what do you expect? Because Lend a Hand has been making big strides for underprivileged children in India, right?
So Lend a Hand India was started in New York by 4 people with just $2,000. And now we're in multiple states in India, and we have over, 20,000 students. And we've expanded to even implement policy for vocational training. So we go into existing schools and teach them skill building. It's skill building, so the students graduate with a skill that's marketable.
So vocational skills you're talking about, so
yes.
they can stand on their feet. So are you hitting the rural areas in India?
Absolutely.
So how many children have you helped so far?
Krishna?
So we started off in one school, but we're working with close to 20,000 students right now. So far, I don't have the exact numbers, but it should be at least about 10,000 students who've gone through the Lend a Hand India program.
So it's been quite a journey from 2003 to now. So a lot of your young kids are becoming young adults and even like grown up. And what do you see their empowerment like? Give us a snapshot of that.
The ultimate goal is to make them entrepreneurs. So not only are they just using the skills they've learned, but they're also helping other people have livelihoods. So that's our ultimate goal. And also implement policy nationwide towards vocational training.
I'm here with Christina Carrasco, and she does all kinds of portraits, animals, what else? Surrealism?
Surrealism, different interpretations of nature in different forms, not the exact nature. Greek mythology combined with psychology. It depends on what my feelings, what my emotions are at the moment when I paint.
But do you is it any theme or any message?
There's definitely a message in every painting, and definitely a theme, although I don't think about the theme when I paint. It's more about what I feel, and actually what I dream and how I interpret my dreams. And the impact they have in my real life.
So this is called Joker?
No, that is a Joker. No, this is the Poker Queen.
Okay.
So this is the Royal Flush, which is the highest hand in Texas Hold'em poker. But you can see it as a poker game. But it can
dollars over here.
I definitely do. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a game. It can also be in my mind when I painted it, I thought of a powerful woman who has all the assets to become very successful. She does not have only the sexuality and the body for it, or the mystery, but she's also very intelligent, ambitious, strong.
She holds all the cards.
She holds all the cards. And the Joker might be the interpretation she gets from all the other people in the world. Maybe she's attractive and she's not taken seriously for her attractiveness. She's considered a Joker, but also she's a successful woman.
Very interesting. I really like this. And let's go to this one.
The face, yes. So this is a more abstract surrealism picture painting. It represents, it's called the Nile, and it actually represents the refusal to accept whatever evil is in this world.
Negativity. The ups and downs, you know, the more the downs than anything else.
Exactly. She just
Failure.
says no more. That's enough for me.
That's great. It's all about empowerment over here. I see a lot of women empowerment. Yes, Christina.
exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
There's another one on a woman as well.
So this is called Surprise. Not necessarily about empowerment. It's more about. Do you know the horse races that happen? So you know they wear big hats and they never know which is gonna win. So I thought of that, painting it. It's a surprise of a woman who's betting not on a horse but on a life job, on a life relationship, on a life situation, expressed, you know, in a different way. And
So you have really accentuated her fingers over here.
I'm sorry?
You've accentuated on her fingers. They're like this.
Fingers and also the lips that match. So I wanted to have an impact, the red, on the black and white painting. The red is also the color of sensuality and love.
And courage.
And courage and power.
And the one on the top.
The one on the top, I got inspired by the yin and yang symbol, put on the shape of love. So the same way as yin and yang symbol does not exist unless it's together, the black and white, the same way true love and soulmates should be together or are together only if they find each other. So that's the combination of love.
So you use oils. What do you use?
Yes, majority are oils on canvas. There are a few acrylics, like that one is acrylic and mixed media. Also that one. So only those two are acrylic and mixed media on.
That one has some feathers and.
Those are real feathers, yes.
Really? Yeah, they look real. And you did talk about animals, so this is like on birds.
I'm sorry?
So it's about birds?
It's not about birds, it's about dance. The painting is called Rebirth. So, after
Anything, the feathers mean anything? They signify anything?
feathers are light and easy and you can fly. I mean, to fly, basically you need feathers like a bird. I'm not referring to...
You soar high.
Exactly. So you fly, leaving everything behind. The music also has a big impact on your mood or on my mood when I paint. So I think it helps and changes all the emotions and the feelings. So along with music and dance and the feathers, you're like the phoenix. It's like that's the phoenix lady, the phoenix bird.
I see that's another picture. Again, this is not acrylic. It's a woman here again.
It's called the dreaming of. That's all the desires that a woman has in her dreams and she wishes to accomplish. I know
You talked about your dream just now. You said, you know, you whatever you dream, you put it out on paper.
From dreams, yes. So I guess, like in all the other paintings, I get inspired from dreams, and this can be one of my dreams.
Absolutely correct. Wow. So, Christina, well, how much do your paintings go for?
Anywhere between 500 and 4,000. Of course, it's open to negotiation if someone really loves my painting, because it makes me happier to see that my paintings can be in someone's house that actually love them and they really enjoy them. They're happy with them.
How did you come to know about Lend a Hand?
I'm sorry?
How did you come to know about Lend a Hand organization?
So I participated at Art Expo in New York about a month ago, 2 months ago, and Kavita saw my work and she loved it and she invited me to be here, which I'm very happy and thankful for.
Very much, Christina Koresko, and wish you all the very best. It's all about women and how she's able to surmount the failures and stay away from toxicity and negativity in life. I think that I got that part.
Positivity and happiness.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm holding a cricket bat. Actually, we're all holding a cricket bat. That's Brian Bijoy from New York Life. And New York Life is one of the sponsors for today's event. And we know New York Life always partners with many South Asian events and reaches out with a lot of their funding and the awareness that they do it, through their own ways of doing outreach.
Yeah, so we decided to partner with Lend a Hand India because we like everything that's going on. I've been a member of Lend a Hand India for a long time, so what they're doing back in India with the vocational training and helping out the kids who have steady jobs after they get out of school and things like that, it really helps out. And New York Life and our team we're all about giving back and really raising awareness here in New York City and the rest of the country. And, whatever we can, putting on this event, very small thing to do, but it goes a long way back in India.
Seeing the art of Mandar Jadhav, who's traveling right now. He's from Brooklyn. And Pooja, you're representing him. So we see acrylic, we see watercolors.
And there are some 3D based paintings where you see play of gold leaf and welded wires to create figurines. He's Brooklyn based. He does this full time. He left his fintech job of many years, had an epiphany, and decided this is his calling and this is what he's going to do. So he's been doing this full time.
Because these are like, there's a lot over here,
It's over 8 months of work that you see over here. Yes. He works very hard at it.
And how much do these his work of art go for?
So what we have here is between $75 and $150. The watercolor ones over here are like $75. The gold leaf ones are about $100, and these ones are about $150. Because watercolors invest a lot more time and technique, so that's why those ones are a lot more expensive.
Gold leaf, right?
Yeah.
So this is the gold leaf. Now this must be very intricate to put this out.
Yes, because the gold leaf, just sticking the gold leaf itself on this paper takes a lot of effort and a lot of technique. And you have to wait for a few days for it to like settle down, because you cannot even touch it till it hasn't like almost stuck and become a part of the paper.
So how do you make the gold leaf?
You get it at art stores, but you have to treat it, and the way you basically, like how you barely feel it right on the paper. So that's why the way you treat it, and then it becomes a part of the paper, and then you do your art on it. That's the technique that's used. Yeah.
Tell us. So these are very bold earrings.
Yeah, so we're trying to be in trends with what's happening now and internationally. And so since I'm based in New York, so I follow the trends in New York. And then we kind of combine it with some interesting pieces from India. That kind of like, mix and match both. Yeah, a blend of the East and the West. So we get, so you can wear them in your, everyday life as well, not just for Indian.
So if you want something flashy or you want something a little more subtle, more sober, so you have everything over here that...
unique pieces, like this one is Instagram worthy, I would say. And so, very niche and interesting pieces, one of a kind.
That's very pretty. It's rather Krishna.
Yes. There's a lot of one-of-a-kind pieces.
This is a ring.
Yeah, this is a ring.
It goes like...
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
And then we also have stuff even from the Himalayas.
Yes.
We have Rudraksh beads. I just went to had a trip to Rishikesh, and I got really into meditation and yoga.
Yes.
So this actually, Rudraksh has a lot of benefits for health.
Is this
So
what is 8-mukhi or they got
this
the,
one is probably an 8. Yeah.
and then there's a Pashmukhi.
Yeah.
Some are very rare to get.
Yes, like there's 1 mukhi, 2 mukhi. There's
yes,
like yeah.
Okay.
So these are the commonly used ones,
Yes,
but
of course.
they have really good properties. So we bring some of that in there too, kind of be more holistic, and more
And you're wearing
fashionable.
it.
Yep.
Oh, this is different.
Yeah, this one actually was given to me by a Tibetan monk.
Yes, I'm sure. Yes.
So I'm getting a lot into so we're like, trying to be a conscious brand, and that's fashionable as well. So,
So where do we see your brand being showcased besides over here?
So we take appointments. It's by appointment only. We're based in New York City. We have a studio in Manhattan in the Garment District, so in Midtown. So by appointment, we show the private collections. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tina. And I like some of your stuff. Is really very interesting and eye-grabbing.
I know.
I'm here with Amar Yashlaha, and he's been working on this work on paper for over 5 years now.
Yeah, so I take pictures. These can be printed on any medium. Just for this event, I've chosen paper because it's lighter to carry. But they could be printed on anything, on canvas, on metal, on acrylic, or photographic paper.
What is the theme? Is there any running theme in here?
Not really. A lot of these are just portraying my travels and more the artistic side of what I find beautiful, because when you do for an event or a wedding, you're taking pictures of people for people. This I do for myself.
And how did you find about this charity, Lend a Hand?
Kavita has been a friend of mine for a long time, and that's why I'm here.
So you do it in other mediums as well. Of course, this was like for this particular event.
Right.
So what other mediums do you choose?
No, so shooting is, I shoot with my camera, but then developing and printing can be done on canvas or metal or acrylic or paper.
So do you first take a picture on camera, like Kajira and all that, painting?
I use the picture from the books or in. I take the copy and then I paste it, and I do compose my way. That's it.
Another one.
This is the another one. That is also the abstract with the forms and the strips, straight and rectangle and everywhere. All the strips are there. See the square.
This you made in 2015.
215, yeah.
So something like this, how much does it cost?
I got this at 5,000. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manoj Vyas, and appreciate your work for it. It's really great.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Now, Banaras Pan is with a twist, and so is Thanda. It's got a lot of cocoa and chocolate in here.
Yeah, so basically what I do is mostly work with Indian flavors, and I love experimenting with different Indian mithai flavors. But I also do other world cuisines like the za'atar, the orange blossom, the date rose, the Moroccan mint, the African rooibos tea, the lavender, the jasmine. So 50 world flavors really, and all are natural, made with natural organic teas, spices, flowers, and herbs. So there's no added sugar, there's no commercial flavor to any of them, and they're all made in Belgian cacao from 55% to 72%.
And the Pan is vegan.
Yeah, that's right. So we have half of my flavors are vegan, so we don't have any dairy, and we make it with pure dark chocolate. So there's no white chocolate or any dairy or any butter.
Interesting. So how did you get this great idea to make this kind of pans and Thanda?
So I moved to India in 2011, and I was disappointed to see that there was no real chocolate products in India. They were using baking chocolate, they weren't really using real cacao. So that's when I started to research and learn more about chocolate, and I tried to source the ingredients. That was the hardest challenge, to get the ingredients, to get real Belgian cacao in India. But once I got that, I started experimenting, and over the years, with my experience and with my programs abroad, I started my company.
Lend a Hand making great strides for the last 15 years, trying to give more opportunities for underprivileged children in India, giving them vocational training and skills to make them dream what they had to dream for and making them alive with those opportunities. Reporting from Arlo Nomad Hotel, I'm Renee Mira, ITV Gold News. Gun violence has become a critical issue all around the world, and NYU held a very stimulating discussion about gun violence and gun safety. This was organized by the New York City Public Health Association. Dr. Nina Agarwal talked about gun safety and common sense rules and regulations. Let's take a look at this report.
Thank you for joining us here today. So I'm Nina Rothschild. I am the FANIC president. And I'm going to speak briefly about FANIC's policy agenda, which Loveland and Anita briefly addressed, and about why we are gathered here tonight to discuss gun violence. So, FANIC, or the Public Health Association of New York City, is the New York City affiliate of the American Public Health Association. And it has represented the voice of New Yorkers in public health since 1936. So that is over 80 years.
The first one is, you made me think of a quote from Garen Wintemute. I don't know if everyone knows who that is. He's a very big, he started the UC Davis Violence Injury Prevention Center. He's a very, very big gun violence researcher. And we're following in his footsteps a little bit. Although even that makes me sound like I'm doing more than I'm actually doing. But he has a great quote about the public health approach to gun violence research, which is actually a quote of someone else's, which is back in the 90s, we saw those trends where gun homicides were increasing. When the head of the CDC in the 90s, his name was David Satcher, I believe, he was advocating for sort of this robust research-based approach to gun violence, 30 years ago. And that was even more radical back then because gun violence was thought of as primarily a crime problem and not, a health problem. And he was being interviewed. This is an article in the New York Times. You can see it's in 1993. A reporter was sort of pushing back on his claim that this was a public health problem. And his quote was, if it's not a public health problem, then why are all these people dying from it? Which is could still be our rebuttal today.
I'm talking to Councilmember Mark Levine. He's the chair of the Health Committee for New York City, and that's very important because we're talking about gun violence, and it's more about not just partisan issue. It goes beyond that. And we're talking, and you said very rightly that more than 84% of guns that come out are out of New York State. So how do we control that? Because we can control the airports, the trains, but how do we control the bridges? Because people just take the guns, coming
Right.
through those cars, and it's just very difficult. It's
Right.
challenging, actually.
The guns who are killing people on our streets have come here from Virginia and Georgia and Florida and other states that have lax gun laws, and it's killing New Yorkers. We have a bill actually in the council to track this. We want to know the source of every gun, and we want that data compiled and made public to shine a light, and we hope shame those states whose guns are coming to our city and killing our people and killing our young people. We need national policy responses. We need a federal response. We need congressional response. We're only going to be as good as the weakest state in the nation. If even one state has weak gun laws, those guns will find their ways to our streets. We need federal action, and as a Democrat and a progressive, this is one of the most important reasons why I believe we need to flip control of both houses of Congress into the hands of Democrats who care about protecting Americans who are dying now because of the epidemic of gun violence.
And that's the Dickey Amendment that is banning the Center for Disease Control and Prevention to do research on gun violence. How do we get over this?
It's outrageous that the main source of public policy research in the country is prohibited from investigating a public health crisis which is taking thousands of lives a year. Thousands. It's one of the leading causes of death, of preventable causes of death in America. There's a movement afoot to overturn this. I am very pessimistic about it happening when there's Republican control in Washington. One more reason why we have to flip Congress and ultimately the White House to get people who have sensible, sensible understanding of gun policy, who understand the value of science in tackling what is clearly a public health crisis. We need to do it immediately to get the answers we need to take on gun violence.
We need to know the psyche of the person who is shooting
All
and
the
what's
indicators.
going on with the
Absolutely.
mental health.
Yes, there could be mental health indicators. There could be indicators about family life. We could learn about the sources of guns, a more robust understanding of where the guns are coming from, to trace them to their source, to hold the sellers accountable. We can attack this from every angle, as we've done with car deaths and other public health crises, and diabetes and other medical conditions. We need to do it now for gun deaths.
Thank you very much, Council Member. We can take this conversation to the next level, I'm sure, because there's so much to talk about this critical public health issue.
I look forward to doing that. Shukriya.
Thank you. And that's all for today's Community News. I'm Renee Mera. Thank you for letting us be part of your day.